Hey, this is Eric, and in this video we're looking at the powerful features of Chromebooks for students, even when the Chromebook is unplugged. As I mentioned in the intro, today I'm going to be exploring a day in the life of a student Chromebook, but I'm going to be doing it unplugged. What I mean is, when a student is using a Chromebook at school, they may not always have a power outlet to plug into. This is why many schools ask students to make sure their Chromebooks are completely charged before bringing them in each day. Well, today, I'm going to be that student. I'm going to be using this student Chromebook all day long, but I will not be plugging it into power. Every couple of hours, I'll record another short video to show how the Chromebook is doing, while taking some time to demonstrate some powerful Chromebook features that can help students with learning and creating. To help me with this little experiment, MediaTek was kind enough to sponsor this video and send me this Acer 311 C723 Chromebook to test out. This device is powered by an efficient 8-core MediaTek processor, which helps provide a battery life of up to 15 hours. This is great to let a student get through an entire day with no worry about recharging or losing valuable time. So, come along with my journey today to learn lots of great Chromebook features while seeing how this MediaTek powered device works in the real world unplugged. All right, so it's first thing in the morning and we have just arrived at school. Let's start off by taking a look at our current battery level and estimated time left. Looks like we are still at 100% for our battery, and at the moment it's estimating 12 hours and 28 minutes left. That'll probably settle in as we use the Chromebook throughout the day here. Do notice that I have told it to leave the display on even when I'm not using the Chromebook. So throughout the day I will be using it, but if there's periods of time when I'm not, I've told it when inactive and on battery to keep the display on. So basically trying to run this Chromebook all day long without any sleep mode, so we can see what it would be like if we really did use the Chromebook the entire day. All right, so with that in mind, for this particular section, we're going to explore a Chromebook feature, which is going to be the accessibility tools. So let's say that, again, we're here at school and we need to start off the day by reading an article. And maybe we could use some assistance with reading this article. So let's focus in on how the built-in accessibility tools on a Chromebook can help support all learners. Now, to get to accessibility tools, we can head down to the bottom right-hand corner, click on our little system menu there. And in that section, you'll see we do have an accessibility section here where we can turn on and off loads of different accessibility tools just by clicking them on and off. Well, I've turned on Select to Speak as an example here, which puts a little teeny speaker icon in the bottom corner of our screen here. Select to Speak is a text-to-speech tool. So what I can do with that is I can simply come down here, click on Select to Speak, and then come up to the document, drag a box around anything I would like to have read aloud. Let's try that out.
Celebrated every April 22nd, Earth Day is an annual reminder of the urgent need to protect our planet.
Now notice, of course, that we can jump forwards and backwards. We can change the speed of that. And if we need to, we can go into the settings and change the voice as well. This is a great tool to be able to help a student if they need text read to them or simply want to read along with the text as it is being read aloud. Now, there's other built-in accessibility tools here that could help us. For example, one of the neat features is the Quick Answers feature. That is an accessibility tool built into Chromebooks. The idea is if I'm reading along and I come across a word that I'm not sure what that word is, I can simply right-click on the word and it's going to come up with a pronunciation of it.
Persuade.
And it's also going to give me a definition of that word. That's just a great support that students have at any point. Other accessibility tools, we can head back down to our accessibility menu here. For example, we could turn on our docked magnifier. What this does is it allows us to keep the bottom portion of the screen at the typical zoom level, but at the top of the screen we have a zoomed in version so that as we're reading along, we can see a larger version at the top of the screen there. And then of course just come back down and turn that back off as needed. Now again, there's lots of other accessibility tools we could talk about. I'll just give a quick shout out to things such as the dictation tool, where I can speak and it will type things for me, or the color inversion if it helps to have bright text on a dark background instead of dark text on a white background. Other things such as automatic clicks in case I have a difficult time pressing on the keypad or the trackpad or on my mouse, it can click for me. There's an on-screen keyboard. There's also the large mouse cursor to make sure that I can find my mouse cursor, as well as other great features such as sticky keys and more. All of these accessibility tools are a great way to support all learners who are using Chromebooks. All right, well, hey, it's around mid-morning now. Been using the Chromebook for a couple of hours. Let's check in on how the battery's doing. All right, so it looks like our battery is around 92% at the moment. It's estimating about 10 hours and 37 minutes left. Again, that number jumps around quite a bit depending upon how actively you're using the Chromebook at that moment. I think the key thing is the percentage left, and we're still at 92% of our battery life. Excellent. All right. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at some additional Chromebook features during this section here. And for this, we're going to be talking about two things. We're going to be talking about Chrome Canvas, and we're going to be talking about Screencast. So the idea is, let's say, as a student, I need to do some math work now. And so my job is to record myself showing that I know how to solve a two-step equation. Well, one tool I can use for this is Chrome Canvas. Chrome Canvas is a free app, a free website from Google that you can use on a Chromebook to have a real simple, easy to use whiteboard. So in this case, I have written out my two-step equation that I'm going to be solving here in just a second. But to record that, what I'm going to end up using is another awesome tool that's just built right into Chromebooks. This is just part of a Chromebook. It's called Screencast. You can launch that from your launcher menu. Just go down and you can find the Screencast app there. I've got that launched here. And basically what I can do with this is I can create a recording. And so I'll click on New Screencast. Oh, there I am up in the top corner. And so what I can do now is I can record my entire screen or just part of the screen. I'll record the entire screen. I can also, of course, include my microphone, the system audio if I want, the camera if I do want to include the camera in there as well. And what it's going to do is it's going to record everything on the screen as well as everything I say as well as my webcam, and then just save that to my Google Drive. It'll be super simple then to be able to share that with my teacher to submit that. This is a great way for students to be able to record themselves explaining how they solved a problem or giving a speech or whatever the case might be. So let's go ahead and try that out. We'll go ahead and click here to start recording. And this is a touchscreen Chromebook, so I'm going to use my stylus here to solve my my equation. So we'll come in and say, okay, looks like to do this, I'm going to need to get the x by itself. So I got to start by getting rid of that +3, well, the opposite of addition is subtraction. So I'll subtract a 3 from that side of the equation, but hey, got to do it to both sides of the equation to keep things balanced. So a +3 minus 3 will cancel out. I'm left with 2x by itself. And let's see, that's going to give me 8 on this side. Now I got to get rid of the 2 connected to the x. It's multiplied by to the x. So the inverse of that is division, so I'll divide by 2. Again, got to do that on both sides to keep the equation balanced, so x equals 4. Now, of course, I could go through and check that as well, but that's the idea. When I'm all done, I can come on down here and click on the little stop button, and that is going to stop that recording. It's going to take a little bit of time, but what it's going to do is it's going to now save that to my Google Drive. Once that gets all processed, then I'm going to be able to open that up. If I need to make some simple little edits to it, there are some basic built-in editing options there in Google Screencast. But for the most part, oh, there it is, still processing it. But once that gets done, I can then click on it and go in and share it. Now, just to show you, here's one I did earlier that's already done and processed. So I'll go ahead and pull that up. I won't go ahead and play it though. I'll just pull it up so you can see that there. What I can do is I can click on the share button, and that allows me then to go in and say I want to share this with others. And when I do, it gives me a link. I can just copy that link, and now I am ready to go. I can take that link and I could then submit that link through Google Classroom or whatever method I want to share it with my teacher. So there you go. Some other awesome features built right into Chromebooks that can help a student all throughout their day. All right, it is now lunchtime and time to check back in to see how the battery's doing on the Chromebook. So I've been using the Chromebook today for about 4 hours, and it looks like our battery is right around 80%. So still doing great, about halfway through a typical school day, around 80% on the battery, and it's estimating about 10 hours and 2 minutes still left on that battery. So we are doing very well. All right, so during this section, what I'd like to talk about is using Android apps on a Chromebook. So sure, Chromebooks come with loads of built-in tools already, but you can extend them even further by enabling Android apps, which opens up thousands of helpful apps from the Google Play Store. There's lots of educational apps in here, lots of productivity apps that you can install and then run right on your Chromebook. So for example, the Android version of Google Classroom and Google Docs. Both of those include the ability to handwrite right on top of your documents. And that can be great for doing math or sketching a diagram or such. Well, since it is lunchtime though, maybe it's time for a break. So how about for the app we're going to run the Android app version of Minecraft. So we'll go ahead and I've already got that pre-installed. We'll go ahead and launch that, give that a moment to start up. Now, while that is starting up, it will take a little bit of time to get that going. A couple of quick things about using Android apps on your Chromebook. This is something that you are going to need to have your administrator, your Google Apps administrator, set up and approve. We'll go ahead and we'll pop-up dialog. Our screen reader here. There we go. And we'll go ahead and just pull up our world that we were playing around with here earlier. Again, give that a little bit of time to get that loaded up. So like I was saying, this is something that your Google administrators would have to set up, and again, they would have to approve the app. So it's not like if you turn on the Android App Store that a student can just install any app whatsoever. It's going to be something that you're going to need to go in and approve which apps are available for them to be able to use. But there we go. We are now here inside of Minecraft, and we can start running around, doing a little bit of mining here. I know that's just some leaves from a tree, but you get the idea there. And so, again, just a wonderful opportunity to be able to extend the power of your Chromebook by opening up all of these amazing Android apps in the Google Play Store. All right, it's now early afternoon and time to check in once again on how the Chromebook battery is doing. So taking a look at our battery here, we are at 67% left, and we're a good about 6 hours or so into the day, so still doing great there. It's claiming about 8 hours and 15 minutes left at this point. All right, so for this section of the video, we're going to take a look at video editing with a Chromebook. Now, earlier, you may remember, we had talked about using the Screencast tool to do a recording. I did mention there's some minor editing you could do with that. So if I pulled up that Screencast video in the Screencast app and go into editing, we can skip small portions of the video to trim out some things if we, made a mistake in what we said. But it's pretty basic, pretty simple editing there. So what if we wanted to do something a little bit fancier than that? So for this example, what we're going to do is we're going to use Clipchamp. So Clipchamp is an online video editing tool that works great on Chromebooks. I'm going to go ahead and create a new video here. We'll start from scratch. And what we're going to do is we're just going to grab that video we recorded earlier with Google Screencast. So we'll go to the Import Media section there. And what we're going to need to do is browse to our drive. If we browse into our drive underneath My Drive, if you scroll on down, there's a whole section in there specifically for Google Screencast recordings. So we're going to go on down until we get to the Screencast recording section. And you'll see here is that section, Screencast recordings. And then we just need to look for today's date. So we'll scroll on down to that. Looks like there it is. Awesome. And then inside of there, this is the actual WebM file that got recorded by that screencast. We're going to go ahead and open that up. Take it just a moment to get that opened up. We can now grab that, drag and drop it onto our timeline. And there we go. So at this point, we could do all sorts of video editing here. Clipchamp can do a lot of stuff. I'm going to keep this really basic for right now, but it could be as simple as just, trimming things. So like maybe I want to trim off the beginning or trim off the end, or I want to split the video. A lot of possibilities there. Of course, I can, add in text and transitions, but let's just say maybe I just want to put in a cool intro here. So maybe I'll go to the templates section and I'll go into the YouTube templates, and maybe I'll just type in, intro. Maybe I'm just looking for a neat intro here. Maybe this one here is perfectly fine. We'll go ahead and hit the little plus button there to add that on in. And now it has dropped that intro in. I can now pull my video up close against it there, so it will go straight from the intro into my video. And then, yeah, I could come on in here, double click on this so that I can get in here and make the change to the actual text. And it's still pulling that in, so I will give it just a moment to do that. But once it has that pulled in, then we'll go in. There we go. We'll go ahead and come on in here to the channel name where it says channel name, and maybe I'll just put in something like my video. We'll just keep this real simple. And then that's it. As simple as that. I now have this video intro here that I could play that will, and again, it's still pulling that in, but we'll go ahead and just play it and see if it shows at least a little bit of it. It's still pulling in the audio with it there as well. But there is the little my video intro, and then once that's done, it will launch.
So I got to start by getting rid of that +3
earlier there. Now again, lots more I could do here with transitions and text and lots of stuff. The point is, all this can easily be done on the student Chromebook, so that when I go to turn in my video to my teacher, I can have all the extra bells and whistles that I would like to have on there. Great stuff. All right, it's the end of the day. School is over. Time to get on the bus and head home, but let's take one last look to see how the Chromebook's battery's doing. A little over 8 hours at this point. I've been watching videos, been working in Google Docs, sending emails, browsing the web, lots of things. And we are still at 54% on the battery. It's doing great. Still saying we have over 6 more hours to go on this battery charge if we wanted to. Now, even though the school day is over, doesn't mean that our use of the Chromebook has to be. So let's take a look at one more feature of Chromebooks, which is offline access. So certainly Chromebooks are fantastic when you're connected to the internet. That's great. But what about that bus ride home where I don't have internet access? Well, it turns out Chromebooks are able to function offline. You can access your Gmail, your calendar, your Drive without a internet connection. You do need to turn that on first though. So for example, in Gmail, in your settings under the offline section, there's a spot to enable offline email and decide how many days back you want to go with that, and also whether or not you want to download the attachments with those messages. Same thing with Google Calendar. There's an offline section in your settings to use Calendar offline, and the same with Google Drive. If you go into your Drive settings, there's an offline section. You can turn that on, and basically it'll sync docs, sheets, and slides. Now, it doesn't sync other kinds of files, but it does do docs, sheets, and slides. So you can continue to work on those or create new ones. So in each of these cases, as long as you turn these on ahead of time, when you now don't have a connection, you can still read your email. You can reply to messages. You can write new messages. You can work on your documents, your sheets, your slides. You can create new documents. And then the next time you get a Wi-Fi connection, everything will sync back up. So we're going to try that out. So here's my Google Drive. I'm online at the moment, but I'm going to come down here and tell you what, let's disconnect. Let's turn off our Wi-Fi. So turning off the Wi-Fi there, give that a moment. And there we go. And so you can see I now no longer have an internet connection, and my drive is updated to show me the files that are available offline. So again, these are slideshows, these are spreadsheets, and these are documents. I can go in, open up this essay that I'm writing for my class on Hamlet compared to the Lion King. And now I could keep on writing here. I could say something like, I will begin by looking at how they are similar. And you get the idea. So basically, I can work on this document or create new documents, and when I do get Wi-Fi connection again, that will all sync back up. It's a great way to continue using the Chromebook even when you don't have Wi-Fi access, and just another fantastic feature of Chromebooks for students. So that's it. This MediaTek powered Chromebook has been running all day unplugged, completely on battery power. And we've been able to use loads of powerful features, including accessibility tools, Screencast, Chrome Canvas, Android apps, including Minecraft, video editing, and even offline access. And we still have power left over. Hopefully, this has helped you learn about some of the great benefits of Chromebooks for students, and especially those powered by MediaTek processors for all-day battery use. Thanks so much again to MediaTek for sponsoring this video and providing this Chromebook to test out. And for all my other resources, check out my blog at controlaltachieve.com, and to connect with me, go to bit.ly/CAA-connect, where you'll find all of my social media links, email, newsletter, and more.